they should keep that policy because I don't want my friends to go hungry in school or have to be embarrassed by telling their teacher or the lunch lady.
So, Charlotte, come up here for a second. Okay, I'm going to embarrass you for a second. So that was like the most beautiful question that I've ever heard. Because what you said is that you're thinking every single day of other kids, right? Of kids who might not have it as good as you, right? And when we think about why we exist in this world, right? We exist in this world to help other people, don't you think?
We applied for services and were approved for early intervention, and it changed everything. At just 6 weeks old, Sam was losing weight fast. She needed feeding therapy, but our insurance wouldn't cover it. Through early intervention, she got the help she desperately needed. She was also blind in one eye and didn't even realize she had a left side. Physical occupation therapy stepped in.
Yeah, I mean, this is true in food and agriculture, and it's true in so many other markets, which is that for decades now, we have seen wave of mergers and consolidation. And what happens when you have, companies merge is that oftentimes they are reducing competition in a market. And so in all sorts of agriculture markets, for example, you have millions of consumers on one end, tens of thousands of farmers on the other, but they're just connected by a handful of big meat packers or chicken processors. And that can lead to huge asymmetries of power, where those big companies in the middle can basically take a bigger and bigger cut, where you have farmers making less, consumers paying more, and the middleman just taking a larger cut in the middle.
And if these organizations get closed down because of the irresponsible actions taken by the Trump administration, it will take years to recover. So again, everybody stand tall, step up, speak out. If we can bring these kind of coalitions together, we can push back against this cruel Trump administration.
Do you find that troubling?
I don't know the study that you're referring to, and I'd be very interested in seeing it and understanding how they came up with those numbers.
Media Research Center did a 6-month analysis, and it's not how do you find it. You either say far right or it's terms. Yeah. They use the term far right 162 times, far left 6 times. That's a 96 to 4% skew.
But what I think he's referring to is that this is not exactly organic. There are organizations, there is money, there's people even money coming from foreign entities, foreign actors that hate this country. And I think that we need to be researching that and determining who is spending money to try to create because look, this is what the United States has done for decades to other nations. So let's not be naive to think that this isn't happening in this country.
That is what a dictator does. It seeks to silence voices that have a dissenting opinion. And so it could be you tomorrow for reading a banned book. It could be you tomorrow for writing simply an op-ed that they disagree with. It could be you tomorrow for practicing your religion. So this is a 5-alarm fire.
The President of the United States has now sent another executive order to the Smithsonian Institute, saying that he wants to take away facts and history from various displays, and especially the African American Museum.
As your representative in Congress, I'm committed to ensuring that our government upholds that sacred promise to those who have worn the uniform. When you make that decision to serve, you were promised that when you come home, we would have your back.
Between 1961 and 1975, nearly 3.5 million Americans deployed in support of U.S. military operations in Vietnam and Southeast Asia. More than 58,000 gave their lives and nearly 1,600 remain unaccounted for.
In 1943, nearly 1,000 American soldiers with 4 chaplains set sail from New York to Greenland, carrying with them hope, duty, and a quiet fear. But their ship was torpedoed by a Nazi U-boat, and the frigid waters of the North Atlantic became a grave. Those 4 chaplains gave up their life vests, giving their lives so that others might live, to protect America and Greenland.
We remember the 58,000 patriots who never returned home safely to the warm embrace of their families. Today, their names are hauntingly etched into the 2 faces of black granite in our nation's capital, known simply as the Wall. A replica of this very wall, almost 300 feet long, will be on display in my district from April 17th to April 21st, 2025 at the Northeast Florida Fairgrounds in Nassau County, Florida. This will be a unique and moving opportunity for individuals to come see the names of their loved ones and patriots who otherwise may not be able to make it to Washington, D.C. Mr. Speaker, we remember the 150,000 who were wounded in battle and bear the visible scars of post-traumatic stress and Agent Orange exposure. We remember those who face brutal captivity as prisoners of war and the 1,200 service members still missing in action from Vietnam.
I think the Democrats need to stay focused, talk about what could have happened if the Chinese and the Russians tipped off the Houthis, if they had that information. People who have kids in the military always worry about their children who are serving in our armed forces. So we got to stay focused on that. Somebody has to get fired. And that I believe that that person that should be fired is Secretary Hegseth. I think that it was inappropriate to put that information on the Signal chat, and it's time for him to go.
My biggest concern with this is the fact that it's just one more reason our allies are unlikely to trust us. The irony is Tulsi Gabbard's role in ODNI, that role was created post 9/11 to enhance, to encourage the sharing of intelligence between the community and between ourselves and our allies. And if I had done this, if I had been briefed and went on a commercial app, they would have kicked me off the committee the next day.